Hello and welcome to the Tarkus Zone. Thank you for joining me. We're going to do a quick Champion's Demise here. Just run it real quick. I'm just trying to get to level 100. It's just been a slog since Blizzard Entertainment nerfed all these dungeons. It's just been really a slog to do this. It is what it is. I mean, I guess they just wanted to slow people down on how quick people were getting to 100. But what gets me is there are many people that got to 100 the way the dungeons were. And it kind of, I was thinking with the hardcore competition that they were doing, how unfair that really ended up being, because you got all these people that took advantage of the system when the experience was great, and because they were able to play the game constantly for the first days it was out, they were able to utilize the entire XP gain and got to 100 during their hardcore experience. And then Blizzard Entertainment, in their wisdom, nerfed all these dungeons XP. So it kind of, for those people that weren't able to like stay awake for 3 days straight and had normal schedules, they got the shaft because all the dungeons got nerfed. People got to 100 while it was plentiful, and now it's just a slog fest. I don't understand. I guess my thoughts is I don't understand why they're not fixing the Nightmare Dungeons timely. They're saying next week sometime they might be implementing that because what's going to be is when the Nightmare Dungeons get tooled or get changed in their next update, they're going to produce more XP. So that's where your XP farm is going to come from. But it's still not going to be as much as it used to be. And that's what they decided. The developers decided they just don't want people just running to the 100 level mark. So they make you just do repetitive nonsense like this dungeon over and over again to get there. I mean, it's very. It seems very not well thought of. Blizzard Entertainment has not really thought well of the end game, and I think, and what gets me with it is, in most cases, a noob publisher, developer, whatever you want to call them, would basically say to themselves, "Oh, we got enough content. It's going to take people forever to get to end game. We'll wait on getting to end game." And there's so many games that have closed shop because they thought that way. Because there's always that person, like New World was like that. When New World came out, New World's the wisdom on Amazon was, well, gee, nobody's going to get to the max level for at least a couple months, and then we'll worry about end game there. Well, people were at max level within a few days, and then they had no end game. So I'm thinking Blizzard Entertainment should have rethought their end game, the status of their end game, knowing that what they know that people were going to slog to 100 real quick and not have anything to do. And that's where we're at right now, is even when I get to 100, when I get to the 100 mark, there's not really much for Tarkus to do in this game anymore. And the whole season nonsense where they're not allowing for future progression on old characters. And I guess, people have been telling me that's how they've been doing it all along with Diablo 3, is during the seasons you have to make new characters each season. Well, in my opinion, they didn't have the greatest track record with Diablo 3. And I was hoping that they were going to change that mechanic where you have to, do a new character each season. I was hoping that either they were going to add levels or allow your eternal character to continue to progress within the storyline or to the new seasonal content. And honestly, I think Tarkus will be done with this game once he hits 100, because I just don't. That's not my stick, remaking characters over and over again for seasonal content. That's just not my thing. There's just better games coming down the pike, and I don't see myself playing this game long term anymore. When I thought they were actually going to be progression like World of Warcraft, where I'd be able to play this barbarian, you know, into new content. They're basically saying that that's not going to be the case. So once the new content comes out, I won't have access to that new content with this character. I have to create an entirely new character and do this nonsense over and over again. And there's nothing more irritating to me as a gamer is to know that I'm just wasting my time, because that just seems like a big waste of time, having to redo your characters every 3 months, start from the beginning, start all over every 3 months. So Tarkus here is just going to get to 100th level, say he did it, and then see what these seasons are about. But I just don't see, as a person that loves progression games, and you know, every work you do is not a wasted effort, you know what I mean? In this case, every 3 months you just got wasted effort. I mean, just to see new seasonal content, I mean, that doesn't, I mean, that's just the way I feel about it. It's just the seasonal content, it can't outweigh the fact that you having to slog through this content over and over again, start new every time they want to put a season out. That just doesn't feel to me a very successful plan. And I know that's what they did for Diablo 3, but I will be honest with you. How many people do I know that played Diablo 3? Nobody. I mean, I think that was the reason. There was nobody in all the thousands of gamers that, you know, I have in the Discord channels I've been in, not one of them, not any of them was playing Diablo 3. None of them. And it was like, okay, well, there had to be a reason for that, right? And I think maybe that is because who in their right mind wants to have to start over every 3 months? You know what I mean? You know, that's just the way that's how I was thinking about it. And then there are some people that love that mechanic, having to start over every 3 months. It seems to be that's their thing. But, you know, to me, that's just, there's games coming out that are going to be so much better than Diablo 4 just because of the way they've decided to do Diablo 4. I mean, if it was a continuous progression game where you could use your whatever, you know, I could continue using this barbarian moving forward forever, then they would keep me on the hook. But other than that, Tarkus will be gone. There's Blue Protocol coming out. There's Arden's Notorial coming out. Riven World's going to have an update shortly for mobs coming out. There's just so many better games. Actually, I should say not better games, just developers that know what the players want. It doesn't seem like Diablo 4 developers really understand what their player base wants, or they don't care. I mean, and all these people, I go to these forums saying, oh, this is the best thing, forcing people to start new characters, and I don't know where those people are coming from. I don't know, you know, what games they've played, but to say that is the best strategy to force people to start over every 3 months, it just, I mean, I know the people that I've been playing with have stopped playing. There's at least 8 people in my orbit that paid $70 for this game and will never come back to it. They stopped playing as soon as they heard that their progression was not carrying over. They were like, no, I'm not, this is stupid. There's no point to it. You know, there's no point. And when I say that the progression's not carrying over, there are some things within the progression that will be carried over, but not enough to make it worth it. Not enough to make it worth having to do it all over again. So this game is in my orbit of people that have played this game. They're just hemorrhaging players already, based on the fact that they have told us in the last Fireside chat that they were not allowing you to carry your character over. It would have to be. I got a whisper here. I'll read that in a second. So yeah, that's just my thoughts on the game. I just wanted to do this quick run here for XP, and I usually do it a lot faster than this, but I just been talking while I been running it. But I think that's all the wings. That's the 3 wings right there. I got it finished. I don't bother picking anything up. What's the point? I mean, that's my point of this video. What's the point of picking anything up at this point? I mean, I'm going to get to 100th level, and then I'm probably going to uninstall the game. I mean, that's really where I'm at with it. I mean, unless they come forward and say, look, this seasonal content is going to be worth your time. I just don't see it. They haven't said anything that I felt was going to be enjoyable playtime in the future. All right, that's it for me. Thank you for joining me, and this has been the Tarkus Zone.